Who remembers the Turtle Beach Recon controller that came out about a year ago? I'll post it right here somewhere where you can see it. Well, they came out with a new controller, a little bit less features, a little bit less price, not called the same controller, the React R. Matter of fact, here it is. You can tell I bought it because Amazon, well, they destroyed the box when it came in, as you can see. And because of that, you can hear the clicker on the joystick, which is right here. Yeah. Is that horrible, Toby? What do you think? Exactly. That's exactly what I thought. So we're gonna unbox it, get into it, see if it's worth the $20 less, I believe, and see what the features are that are different on this controller. Let's get into it. You wanna go down? You're gonna stay up here the whole video. All right, guys, so it's 2022, first of all. Can we please get the tabs removed so I don't have to use a knife to open these every single time? You know what I mean? Like, seriously, guys. Let's work on that, please, for the love of God.
Please go away. Let me sleep for the love of God.
All right, so opening the box. Oh, I'm destroying it. First thing you're gonna see right out of the case is a 8.2 foot HDMI or HDMI USB-C cable for the controller. We all like USB-C here, you know that. And then looks like it opens like this, and then the controller actually slides out. It just slides out like that. The good thing is it has a little bit of extra padding for when they damaged the box, so that probably helped out a little bit. The controllers here, and also in the box is your instruction manual, attention. This is like support when you can't figure out how to use the controller because the instruction manual doesn't tell you how to use a controller, and then just a register for your warranty, which you ought to do, by the way. Anyway, so let's get rid of that. Let's look at the controller. That's really what we're here to see. All right. Hey, it comes with the salt pack, guys. You see my dogs running around and stuff. Let's make sure we throw that away. Let's not leave that around for our animals to get, okay? I will kill you if one of your animals die because you leave that out.
Silence! I kill you!
I'm joking. Don't sue me. It's a joke. All right, this is the controller right off rip. It's pretty light, lightweight controller, and I'm digging the Super Nintendo style looking controller. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. The colors and stuff, that's why I picked this. They also have this in black, but I decided to go with this color. Wanted something different looking. And again, it does kind of give me a Super Nintendo controller vibe look, as in color, not the actual controller itself. That would just be stupid. But yeah. Let's talk about the features, what is different from this controller versus the Recon controller, and see if the price point is worth it. We're going to be doing a response time on this to see what the response is and if it has stick drift out of the box as well. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the front buttons on this controller. Let's start with the typical, your X, Y, B, and A button. They are clickable. There's nothing really wrong with them. I have no issue with them. They're not mechanical or anything special, but they do sound okay, they do feel okay, and I definitely give these a pass. Moving on over to the joysticks. The joysticks feel pretty tight in my personal opinion. You can throw one of those mesh things underneath like I have here to, enhance it a little bit if you want for first person shooters. And by the way, control freaks for the Xbox controller do fit on these. I'll have links for those down in the description as well. It feels like I'm trying to play on the D-pad of this controller down inside a peanut butter bowl or something. It's very mushy, almost like rubber bands underneath or something. Not ideal for fighting games in my personal opinion. When it comes to those types of games, the 8-bit do ultimate controller that I just did a review on. That'll be at the end of this video or in the description below. You can check that out, or probably your best bet for this type of style games. Of course, you're gonna have your Xbox share button on this controller, and then on the very top, your old DJ booth. The controller, the Recon controller, that thing was a DJ booth on top. I'm telling you, it was a mixer. There was all kind of things you can do with it. Well, they stripped most of that stuff away, and now you have 4 functions with it, technically speaking. You have your superhuman hearing mode for people that are running wire headsets. Yes, wired. It does not work with wireless, just in case you're gonna ask. It has your remappable button right there in the middle, where you will double tap the button and then hit the corresponding P1 or P2, and then just hit XYBA, whatever button, left, right, trigger, left, right. Any button you want to program to it will program to it, and you'll see it blink twice once it's done, and then it's programmed to the button. This also is used, the middle button is also used to control your volume through your headset for wired headsets again. And simply you would just hold it and then press up or down on the rubber band D-pad to control your voice volume, and then left and right to control in-game volume. Simple as that. And then of course you have your mute on your controller to where you don't have to reach up to your headset if you don't want to. Let's talk about the controller and how it feels itself. This controller has great grips on the side of it. It's like a texture style grip, so sweaty players, your hands won't really slip off the controller. They do not have the cooling grips as the Recon controller had. It's something they did take off. But with this, you don't have to worry about slipping off or anything, in my personal opinion. They're great, I like them a lot, and those textures are actually also on the triggers themselves too, so you don't have to worry about slipping off the triggers. You have something there with like almost like a really fine sandpaper, so where you can kind of itch your finger when you're sweating and you're in a clutch 3v1 situation and you're gonna lose anyways. But yeah, moving on. It also is on the P1, P2 on the bottom of the controller as well, so you have the texture is pretty much everywhere in the controller, it seems like. One of the things that is weird about this controller, and I don't understand, I don't know, like it's like a tricks situation where you have like a left side and a right side and they're battling for control or something, but the left button, the right button sound different. Like when you click them, they sound different. And the P1 and P2 button, I'm not sure why. It's kind of irritating. I don't know if that means there's worse parts on one side, something's not right, but I saw another video where he was saying the same thing, so I'm guessing this is just how the controller is. Here, I'll show you. Listen. So here's the left button. Here's the right button. What is that? And then here's the P1, P2. It's distinguishing. It's different, ain't it? What side do you prefer, the left side or the right side? Comment below. Let me know what side you sounds better to you, and why do you think it's like this? The controller does have a 3.5mm jack on the bottom of it. For you bozos that don't understand, this is for wired headsets. So any 3.5mm jack will work into it. And yes, the superhuman hearing mode will affect any of those headsets. Just plug it in and you'll see. And yes, this thing does have vibrators in it, or rumble packs, or whatever you want to call them. Moving on. Let's go back to the computer, check out the trigger pull on this controller, see what your milliseconds response time is, and then, well, it's not going to be able to be overclocked because it's an Xbox controller. We'll overclock it anyways to see if we get more of a consistent speed. All right, guys, went to the computer side. We're going to test the trigger pull real quick on the controller. We're going to do a total of 3 tests, 3 without being overclocked and 3 with being overclocked. So technically 6 tests. So here we go. The minimum on this is 2.4 and the maximum is 551. Yeah, that's probably not right. The average is 3.9, which is actually pretty good. Polling rate's 250. That's what we thought it was going to be. So we're going to run that test again just to make sure. And there we go. We're at 2.2 again. And this time it's at 10. It's all over the place. Average is 4.9. And we'll run it one more time just to show y'all. Here we go. 2.1. And the average is 5. And the high is 12, so let's just say 10 average to be safe. All right, now we're going to try to overclock it even though it won't overclock. And we're at 2.4 with the max at 31. Oh wow. So our average was 3.9, so that's actually good, our average. I must have accidentally jumped up somewhere, but it's okay. And we'll run it 2 more times. Average was 5 this time, so 2.8, which, you know, it's not going to be a 1 because these controllers do not overclock technically. Xbox controllers don't. Microsoft fixed that, please, for the love of God. Average is 4.7, so our average is around 4, and that's what we're looking for. Our max was 7 this time, and I don't remember what the other ones are. I posted them on the screen, moved them around, so you should be able to see them all. And those are all 6 of your tests. All right, guys, so this is the controller right out of the box. As you can see, I am not touching nothing. You see the controller is moving somewhat, so there's a little bit of a down pull on the stick drift. We're gonna bump it up real quick on dead zone 1 and see if that helps it out. As you can see, it is still moving, so we're gonna bump it up to 2 now. I believe it was 3 where I stopped moving for the most part. All right, we are at 2 now. As you can see, there is still a little bit of a pull, so we're gonna bump it up to 0.03. And I believe for the most part, that does stop it. So I'm gonna leave that up to you guys. Is that acceptable out of a box to have to bump it up a few? I do believe it's okay for the most part, as long as I'm not moving around and it's starting out again. So we're just gonna move around a little bit, do a little bit of slack canceling like the sweats, and we're gonna look back at the wall. And it is actually moving again, so I don't know what I take about that. It actually personally makes me a little worried about the controller and the sticks itself. So we're gonna bump it up to 4. As you can see, it is still moving at this point. Just so y'all know, I'm not touching it. Just gonna click it in to see if that stops the moving. As you can see, it is still moving so slightly. Now this does, you know, affect precision aiming and stuff. So I'm not sure if y'all are okay with that or not. We're at 0.05 at this point. To be honest, it is still moving. If you can see it on the screen, definitely moving down and to the left just so slightly. So we're gonna bump it up again to 6. You know, at this point out of the box, I have to say I'm not very pleased with the controller itself out of the box with stick drift. Now this could be just a controller, a duck controller. I don't know, you know, what y'all consume acceptable or not. We're at 0.6 and it looks like we're actually good now. So 0.06, and the controller doesn't seem like there's anything wrong with it at this point. We'll bump it back down to 0.5 just to make sure one more time. Let's slide around a little bit. I'm gonna die from the gas here soon. And as you can see, it is moving a little bit. So 0.06 does look like it's gonna be the sweet spot for the controller. Just one more time for y'all that haven't skipped this part, because I know some of y'all think this is very important and wanna see this. There's your stick drift, 0.06 out of the box. Tell me in the comments, tell me what your emoji, your favorite, an angry emoji, an okay emoji, or a happy emoji. Is this okay for you? Do you think a 0.06 out of the box is considered acceptable for a $40 controller? Let me know in the comments below. Let's get back to the video. So my final thoughts on the controller of this, I think it's a pretty good built controller. The joysticks are good. I'm not big on the D-pad, and well, the buttons are fine. There's nothing wrong with them. Would I spend $40 on the controller? Personally, if you have $5, and I do, I would spend $45 on the Recon controller. It's only $45 right now. I'm not sure if they're gonna snatch this off the shelf soon and make this obsolete, discontinue it or whatever. But if you have the money, go ahead and spend the extra $5 in my personal opinion and grab that controller. If not, there's nothing wrong with this controller. Both these controllers will be linked below, by the way. And also, if you wanna see a $45 controller, I do prefer, especially when it comes to retro fighting and racing games, make sure you check out the 8-bit Do controller for $45 right here on my screen. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace and love.